It's recording.
All right,
Bet. All right, guys. Welcome back to another episode of Love Us. Today we have Mary,
What up?
Darian, and Sydney, and myself, Atara, which you cannot see, but hello, guys. Today's episode is on, we're calling it crack music. I was going to say something.
got it right.
I was going to say something different, guys. It was not going to come out like but crack music, guys. And hopefully, as you hear us speak today, you will know why it is named that. But let's get right into it. Y'all ready?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to ask like the question that someone posed to me. Are black people cultured in music?
I would definitely say in some music, but not all. Where, and I think we touched on this a little bit before. Originators, yeah, but I feel like at a certain point, once colonizers came into the question.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? And then like they deem the value on certain things, and then take it and then leave the things that they were like, we don't really want that. Then we became proficient in that, but the things that they took over, it was kind of, we didn't have any outlets towards it. So.
I mean, I pretty much wrapped up what I was going to
say.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to say that we aren't cultured, but I think, Atara, you can't see her right now.
Mm-hmm.
But, certain things such as like classical music or country music are things that black people don't necessarily, I don't want to say that they don't, but it's not typically the standard that we dabble in those things.
Yeah.
You associate us with, R&B and hip hop and, those types of things. Not to say that we can't be cultured in those things, but that's typically not the route that we go.
Yeah.
Because
I'm sorry, continue. I didn't mean
and
to
I think a lot of that has to do with your environment and all of that. But once again, although you're saying that, we may not hardcore be dominating those genres, at the same time you have to give credit that we started those genres.
Yeah, big facts.
So I feel like you can't exclude black people from these genres, although, okay, they may not say, oh, well, country music isn't for black. But I mean, who gave it to you?
Yeah.
Where did you get that?
Use that blues into it.
I'm on both sides, but
okay. Well, I think the potential is there. I think right now, at this moment, these days and times, I think the issue is more black culture and black society. Because when someone is singing opera, it'll be like, black people don't do that. Like, why don't you try this thing over here? So then when you're constantly doing that type of thing, then of course more black people are going to be veered towards certain genres. They're not going to be practicing opera or singing as much country music, which, by the way, I love Darius Rucker. But you just don't see it as much. And I think it's because of society.
But do you think it's more so society or how we grew up? Because in my opinion, it is what growing up, what you hear.
Yeah.
So like in my household, we heard gospel, we heard R&B, we heard all of these different things. So when I grew up, it wasn't prevalent for me to go say, let me listen to this classic music.
I think that's a lot of it because like when you think about our parents and our ancestors, they kind of, Hassan Minaj talks about as an immigrant, they deal with this thing called like the American Dream tax. Where it's like all the shit that you gotta deal with. I can curse on this, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna go as far as not the real bad words.
Yeah. All the shit that you gotta deal with as a minority or an immigrant comes with you being an American. So when you think about I guess spaces that were allowed for us, our parents and ancestors were kind of like, this is ours, like, let the white people do what they want, but as long as they leave us alone, this is what we're going to keep. Right, so I think that's where a lot of it, in my opinion at least, I think that's where a lot of it came from.
And I kind of want to piggyback off of that, where she kind of says we've kind of been thrown into like a certain avenue of like music. Mm-hmm. Also growing up, I feel like black people, they kind of get looked down on even by their own culture if you kind of fall into those styles of music that, like you said, kind of weren't necessarily passed down, or isn't necessarily like the more popular type of music to listen to. Like, for instance, if you liked alternative music or rock or whatever, I liked Paramore. I got looks like that's weird, or
Like, people are looking like black emos as strange people. I'm like, why can't you be a black emo?
I ain't even gonna front. I ain't even gonna front. I was one of them niggas. It's like, what are you doing?
So let me ask y'all this question. Piggying back off of what you all are saying. Now, do you think, and this is just far-fetched, but do you think black people judge black people for liking this music because we're outcasted by white people with this music? Because there's a lot of music, let's say opera. My brother sings opera. But let's say opera. It is very hard for black people to get into that type of music. Country music and all those different things. And if you look at society, when people like things that they are kind of thrown out of, it's kind of like, you backpedaling, you playing that. So do you think that has a part in it?
I think that like comes all the way down to even like the emo like lifestyle.
Like you're not gonna be accepted.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of it's just like how dare you go over there? Like
when they
this is our stuff. They kicked us out of that. How dare you even try to like something like that? That trickles down a lot.
You know, that kind of makes me think about the show Them. When they moved into the all-white neighborhood, and then the wife went to the family member's house, and she was like, why don't you come with the rest of us black people where you know that you're comfortable and you know that you're safe? So I feel like that happens a lot in society.
And I think that's fair enough.
I did not like that show, weirdly enough. I don't know what happened.
It teaches you a lot. Especially Black history.
Like Red and shit.
So let me ask you this. Should black people have a genre, like a black genre of music? And I know we talked about this a little bit earlier, and I know, I think majority said, no, I am different.
Okay.
So what are your thoughts on that?
I feel like no, because at the same time, yes, if you just slap black music on it, I mean, okay, then we're gonna slap white music on it, or, you know, I think it kind of just goes without saying. People just kind of assume certain genres of music are for a certain culture, a certain race, without it necessarily being put in black and white.
That's fair.
No, I think, okay, so this is the box that I think our reputation as black people in society tries to put us in. But, like, we all out here.
I know my original take.
I know my original
take, but I want to, like, throw an idea out there because there are some people who also think that, like, integration was, like, one of the worst things that happens to the black community.
This is true.
You know what I'm saying? So, because it takes off the focus, of like our financials, our culture, because it diverses too many like attention like into different things, so you can't really focus on black music, black culture, like all that kind of stuff. So.
And I had this conversation with someone else, and she said, I don't think there should be a black genre. However, I do. I know there is a box, but we've had so many things taken from us. Music is ours in general. Yes, put some black stamps on some music. Yes, that's black music. I don't care what kind of music it is, because we can step out. People know that people steal from us. And like I said in the last one, a white person definitely said, well, the biggest form of flattery is imitation. No.
It's appreciation.
It's appreciation. There we go.
And I will say there are like platforms like such as BET who do, you know, music awards and things
white
like that.
Owned.
Yeah, it
by
is,
people who funded slavery.
Right, but under kind of what you're saying, if we were to do that, then we would be segregating everything again, basically. So in terms of when we look at billboards and stuff like that, I don't know, like if, you know, I'm a really great artist, I want to know that I can kind of get thrown into, you know, and compete against these other white people on the charts. But if you were to do that, they would separate it.
Do what? It's already a black genre. When you think of black genre of music, it's like you said earlier, it's urban music. You think of R&B, it's already that. To take that away from black people is essentially taking whatever else. We're essentially letting
So now you're saying white people can't sing those genres?
No, I never said that. You didn't hear me say that at all.
But I'm just saying in terms of classifying it, I'm saying if they were to specifically sort of, okay, here's white R&B, here's white R&B.
That's the thing. White people don't have R&B. White people don't have that. They do it.
They do.
No, they do it.
But we
start. Yes.
Oh, okay.
But then if that's the case, I get what you're saying. But if that's the case, then really white people have no music whatsoever.
Which isn't the case, but that's not the case.
I'm not saying white people don't. You're not listening. I'm not saying white people don't have music. I'm not saying that they don't contribute to music or whatever. But like you said, there are some musics that we say, oh, this is predominantly black. We know that black people are excelling in these musics. Just like
but we know. I don't think it has to be said.
Like we say that white people are excelling, and we don't say it. we don't say it at all, but it's already out there. There's already a black genre of music.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying is to essentially take that away is taking something else away. I don't think it has to be said, oh, black people can do country. We know we can.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, white people can do R&B. We know they do. But
Right.
we're saying that this is predominantly what black people are known for right here.
And I mean, but I'm saying, I understand that, but I'm like, I don't think a label needs to say, okay, this is black music. Like,
That's not what was put on the table. What we're saying is, should we take away the saying that black people have music, like R&B, all of these different things? Or should those things not be said that, it's predominantly black? I'm not saying labels should say, oh, this is only black music.
Right.
I'm not saying say that.
You're just saying
all.
take away like the labels.
Exactly.
and
Like
its
you shouldn't say, oh, well, this is all predominantly everybody. No, black people are known for R&B, hip hop, and soul. All of these.
But
things.
I'm agreeing with you. I think it's
I
think it's known. Like, I don't think you have to say it, which is why I'm like, when you say that there's a time, I'm like, I think it. I don't. No, take it back. I don't think that all people know that we have started everything.
There we go.
Yeah.
So when they look at rock and country and all that, I don't think that there's the knowledge
Like
behind
rock
of
and
how
roll.
where it
Yeah.
really came from. Like even Elvis.
So if we
Presley.
take away the saying, like anything with black in it, to incorporate that conversation, where does that conversation then start?
It's tough because like even though but hey, this is what we're here for. So we're here for the tough questions. But I feel like even with me presenting that idea of like lack of focus, if you take it away, it's kind of too late in this capacity because I feel like had it been a long time ago, then we probably could have did it. But at this point, it's like it's hard for me to even agree with the point that like white people don't contribute to like the music
And
sphere
they absolutely
or like
do.
culture sphere because like as a hip hop artist, I know we rely heavily on sampling, and even like Tupac's "What You Do for Love," that sample came from a white dude. So it's like it's tough for me to say they don't contribute, but I do get what you mean in terms of like that focus.
And let me back up. I'm not saying that white people don't contribute.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that no, because we get samples from all kinds of people, right? What I am saying is to keep the focus that black people did contribute the most. And start this music. To take that away is something I'm saying I don't think we should do. Because then that conversation gets lost, just like in history, as right now we see they're trying to take the conversation of slavery away. Then how do we teach our kids where it started and why we are in this point?
Got you.
So that's what I'm saying. I think that there should absolutely be something said, well, yes, black culture. Well, how's that black music? Well, let me tell you.
Right, okay.
You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
I can.
That distinction kind of clear. Like, I get what you're saying, but I'm like, that's what I've been saying all the time. I'm like, we did it, but I'm like, I don't think you have to put a label to be, because we know that it's.
We know.
Yeah, we know. We know.
But in terms of when you talk about country stuff, like, I do think there should be more of an education on that.
Absolutely.
But at the end of the day, when I thought you were meaning like literal labels, and I'm
no.
Because in those aspects, it does hurt because you get those, like I mentioned before, you get those artists who want to go do something else, who can't when you put them in a box. But to be able to say, well, we come from this. This is what we started. We introduced people. Elvis did this, you know what I'm saying? To be able to have that conversation is what we still need. We don't need something else taken away.
And I love when people kind of just disrupt music like that. Lil Nas X.
But then, like, what happens with like people like Bruno Mars? Then in that case, because he does predominantly black swing old school music, but he's not. I mean, he's a minority. He's not.
That man grew up in the rainforest. I'm not sure.
I think he's like Pacific Islander.
Yeah, he's not black. He's even said that before.
I think there might have been a small, but it's like Pacific Islander. But I think he does have some black in him, but he's not. That's not necessarily.
He said he does not have any
none
black
at all. Okay.
And
none
I
at all.
think honestly, with Bruno Mars, I've never seen where I felt like Bruno Mars was like, I'm gonna take y'all's music.
No.
He's his own type of person.
But he's invited to BET. He's accepted by it. But he's never tried to be like, this is all I do. This is who I am.
Exactly.
I just do the music.
All right. So let me ask y'all this. With that being said, what is the overall message that we are getting today from black music?
Listen, Are we talking about positive messages?
No, this is y'all.
I want to hear what you got to say first.
Hold on. I want to piggyback off of what Darian had said earlier. The term he used was freedom.
Yeah, I'll expound later. Freedom, yes.
Freedom to make your choices. Freedom to do what you want with your body.
Yeah. Freedom to spend your money, save it.
To take somebody else's.
Yeah. Take somebody.
That is a nice way of saying the freedom to be.
Freedom to make those choices. But go ahead.
I mean, I think there are different pods. Mm-hmm. So I think that there's some music that's like, I'm gonna rap about what's going on in today's society, what's going on in the streets. I think that there's another one that they glamorize the streets, they glamorize drugs. Mm-hmm. I think there's another one that talks about all the money that they have or whatever.
The women.
And then I think, especially women, I think that there's more of I'd like to say body positive music, but
that's facts.
I mean, anything that talks about your body, having sex, twerking, just anything that would have been, looked down upon by our parents' music, I guess. But
love that shit.
So with that being said, yes, there are different pods, but what is the main thing that you think we are seeing in black music today?
Get money. Let's not stay together and be in relationships.
Is it positive or negative?
No, I can't. Okay. No, I can't say that because then you got people like I'm gonna chop his last name up, but Toby. I won't even say that.
But I say predominantly.
Not 5 or 6.
Okay, so
I'm saying predominantly that is what we get.
Money.
I'm not saying it doesn't
exist. Predominantly it's sex and money right now.
Or drugs.
Yeah, I will say that predominantly it's sex.
Not
and
to say
money.
they don't exist, because we've got people like Toby, we've got people like
J. Cole, you got people like Kendrick,
Chan,
Childish.
Drake just had a kid,
so he's kind of disgusting if you really don't know old Childish.
I love old Childish.
We're not going to talk about any of those.
No. They're overeating.
So we say that it is not a little negative. It is negative in my opinion. I know we have different opinions, and that's fine. But overall, I do think that what is hot now is money, hoes, cars, sex, all of these different things, right? And yes, we do know, right? That part.
That was like they're from Nettie.
That's what they do.
That was my money, sex,
the money, sex. Okay,
all of those things. So, what do we wish? Like, do we think this is this what we want to see?
No.
Or do we?
I want lyrics and vocals. I don't just care if it sounds good.
Yeah, I think it needs more depth, but I don't want this to go away because I feel like this. I feel like this is still fun, and at the core, like hip hop's supposed to be fun, and you can have fun songs.
But every song that comes out doesn't need to be TikTok worthy. I don't need to do a dance to every single TikTok.
I mean, sure.
I want to be able to be in my car and be like singing people look at me like, what the heck?
I ain't that mad at it. If it gets black kids rich, I want to
hit some notes. I want to have a really decent line from a lyric I can put as a caption. Yes.
Oh no.
Wait a minute. No. That's fair to say. Granted, it can still be all of those things because if you think of Marvin Gaye, all of these they was talking some nasty.
Yeah, they was talking some nasty
stuff. But they actually loved the people back then, and they wanted to stay together.
No, they did not.
No, let's stay together.
Yeah, but then they had an extra family down the street.
But then you
talking about Bill Cosby.
Yes.
But then you had Rick James was talking about nasty, funky stuff.
Yeah, right. I mean,
but what I am saying though is there was a major turn point. I think now we're more vocalized,
transparent,
vulgar. That is the word.
Put it all on the table.
Yeah, you put it out on the table. Accept us for what we're doing.
But that's not fair because with women. When I read
double
something
standards.
Today. I read something today where people were like, "Oh, I'm about to have a hot girl summer." For women, that is us having fun. Yes, us having fun. We going out on day drinks. We doing whatever we want. Whatever.
Yeah.
men was like, oh, they being hoes, they selling booty.
You know what?
That's exactly what he said.
It's all of it in some cases, but you can pick what you want.
I've said multiple times this year. They're like,
I'll
say I'm having a hot girl summer, and they're like, oh, so you're getting around. I said, no, I'm just doing whatever I want to do.
Right.
Like, if girls be saying hot girl summer with a boyfriend, they be like, look, I'm gonna take a trip. I'm gonna get some fun in the sun.
You know what that sounds like to me?
Body you go see the
That's what it sounds like to me. It's freedom. That's what hot girl summer sounds like. It's freedom.
So I think
freedom without losing your dignity.
Exactly, because a lot of times when y'all do any kind of action, that's what it comes with. You know what I'm saying? So
I think for me, I would, like you said, I love that the music because it is fun. But I've always been an R&B girl. Like, I want to sit back, chill, relax, vibe, whatever. And every once in a while, I'll be like, oh, for the 99. You know, whatever. And I think we've kind of gotten away. And I know we were talking earlier that music doesn't really, the lyrics don't matter now.
I miss, like, true artistry and, like, storytelling. Like, matter of fact, have you ever heard that song Rewind by Nas? Have you ever heard that song?
I heard it.
It's basically he tells an entire story of the day, but it's like he basically raps it in reverse.
Yeah.
And so, but I don't know, it just flows so soon. I mean, it's like the equivalent of like.
No, that's true. He has another song where he talks about like from the perspective of like a bullet and how
that's it.
Yeah, is that it? And how like it affects the community. So yeah.
But I mean, that's like the equivalent of like Ice Cube's "Was a Good Day." I mean, but it's something basic. But I'm like, you can relate to it.
Yeah, he was talking about fucking hoes and doing
all that.
Yeah.
But I'm like, it's something like it's real storytelling. You can like understand what's going on. Like,
y'all remember Children's Story?
Relate to it.
Or Runaway Love by Ludacris.
Yes.
And I really like the fact. I've never been a huge Jay-Z fan. I know people gonna hate me. Don't hate me, y'all. But I like Jay-Z, but I like Jay-Z more now.
Yeah.
I think that because he's more so like, I'm trying to teach y'all.
I'm
trying to teach y'all the ropes. So now you see all those top black people. So you see Jay-Z and Nas working together, and Diddy. You see
Love.
You see
Love. Love.
And all of those people together, like they have, I forgot what the song is called, but they have the song together. And if you actually listen with Fat Joe.
Yeah.
Oh, what is the song?
Is that on Khaled's album?
It's on Khaled's album. But if you listen to what Fat Joe is saying, he's telling you about his story.
Yeah.
He's telling you how to get money. He's telling you all these different things. And I just wish more people in the state of mind that black people are now will come out with music that will incorporate them to start thinking bigger.
Yeah.
But you know what? I feel like every time we have somebody that is really trying to teach them stuff and like be just overtly, conscious, something happens to them. They get shot. They get taken out.
Man,
they try to put out too much Illuminati.
I would even say that sometimes even attention, like from black community, like wanes. Because you think about, I don't know if y'all remember, I think it was like 2014. No, it was around Kendrick's To Pimp a Butterfly album. So I want to say it was like 15. And then Future had just put out Dirty Sprite.
Yeah.
And they were both at a concert and everybody was there for Future. And then Kendrick came after and half the stadium left.
Yeah, that's crazy. And Kendrick's that man.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Why would you leave for Kendrick?
You know what I'm saying? So sometimes
it ain't ratchet him. He says some other stuff, but he also was on his. He got something for everybody.
Yeah. So I mean, I think sometimes it does like come back to people that want to go out and have fun and not like think about that black trauma, not think about like that trauma from dealing with life on a daily basis.
But you can make like a song that's not trauma. Like it could just be like a good day.
Yeah, vibe to. Yeah. You ain't gotta educate me or do nothing, but like say something.
About nobody. I don't want to hear nothing about nobody getting shot. I'm so tired of hearing that, and I feel like every other song, like with my boyfriend, I'll be like, "Do we gotta listen to somebody get killed today?"
This is literally a dance. You do shoot, don't you?
Yes. Like I'm over it. So I'm gonna move on to the next thing. But guys, just in case, or not in case, at the beginning I did not introduce him in full. But today we definitely have Darian, also known as 94 Dro, also known as Dro. He is an up and coming artist. Music is dope. He is responsible for projects such as Action Points. Listen to that.
Yes.
Listen to that, because that's it. Velvet, which we definitely had the pleasure of listening to today, and Bag Full of Money. And he is coming out with a new project. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
The new project, to be honest, it relies heavily on choices and freedom. To be real, that's why I come in here with that kind of topic. Just because I think over this past year, that's been a huge theme for me, and the choices that we've all gathered around ourselves, even to be quarantined and be surrounded by choices and people that you've brought along. You kind of got to reflect on all those kind of things. So that the title for the project, I'm not done with all the tracks yet, but the title for the project is going to be called Misfit, to kind of encompass all of that in terms of the choices that you bring into your life. So yeah, that's the newest thing. Action Points. I'm still trying to figure out if I'm gonna put it on there. I was talking to
that needs to be on there.
It's talking about police reform. All this.
And a lot of people ain't ready for that, but I feel like in this time, we gotta be ready for that. We lack so much common sense and knowledge when it comes to things like that. That is definitely something that you need to be listening to.
But I'd say Darian's more on the conscious side.
Yep. What do you hope that your music gives to the world?
I'd say lessons, life lessons. That's really what I write my music from, are just things that I've gone through. And the times that I do disappear and I'm not writing music is because I got to get out there and live so that I can relay something back, whether that is fun, whether that is introspective things, or me just being transparent with my transgressions and faults, shit like that. But that's my biggest thing, is that it gives somebody an experience to be hey, I want to go try that, or maybe I need to try something outside of my box. So yeah,
that's what's up. We don't, we were just talking about it, we don't get the life experiences. We get the beat, we get a couple of ad libs,
or you get grandiose lifestyles that some of these people haven't
even
lived.
You
so they're just talking about things.
You be surprised.
Because that's what they're used to seeing everybody rap about. Because I mean, I could today decide I want to start rapping about selling meth, whatever. I don't know. I'm cooking it up in the bathtub.
She's been bringing meth up a lot.
Get these streets clear.
You trapping it in?
I might be.
Is it the night job?
Hold on. What's that J. Cole line? My neighbor think I'm selling dope.
Selling meth.
I am. I'm kidding, but I'm not.
No, she's not.
Mr. FBI.
But I could today decide I want to start rapping about selling drugs, making drugs, whatever. If it sounded good, people could be pledged. I could just keep that up, whatever. But I might have never lived that life. Yeah. Shit, I might have just watched some show on TV and looked up how to make it online.
Scarface.
Yeah,
I be looking at Scarface.
Breaking Bad. Nah, but I don't. I have a weird relationship with that kind of stuff, because it's myself. I don't choose to. I don't want to poison communities in that regard.
That part.
But at the same tip, I feel there are folks who will give you that message with those lifestyles, who have lived them, been very close to them. My only thing is that the folks that I listen to that usually give you that lifestyle, I'm a huge fan of 21 Savage.
They're trying to progress.
I'm a huge fan of 50 Cent.
I was just about to ask that. Who's your influence?
50 Cent is definitely one of my influences. People they look at me very weird when I say that.
I used to love me some 50.
But I think a lot of
me to the candy shop.
Right, you know what I'm saying? And so he'll give you some fun hits, but even when he does bring you that lifestyle, I feel the people who do that most effectively will show you what comes with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So he had to do these things because of his environment, but it got me shot 9 times. If that's fine with you, then go into the life.
You a gangster. I do this for real.
Yeah, facts. Even 21, he talks about that all the time, and the trauma that he's had in the street and things like that. And I really like that kind of music because it comes with those stories and the results of their life, and they're just kind of putting it out there for you. It's it was lit, but this was the result. Even Kendrick did that with Good Kid. So yeah.
Do you think that you will ever switch types of music that you have?
Yeah, definitely. I think style wise, I've been telling my brother and my manager this for a while. At a certain point, I do want to start doing music like Childish Gambino's
I love childish stuff.
I do want to start like doing music like "Awaken My Love" and things like that.
Okay.
That's gonna take a lot of.
That's what I was gonna say. Which like
a lot of training.
Thinking to go like more like and then you trying to sing. And
Yeah,
trying
yeah.
To get into what you're trying to cross into.
I really want to like teach myself like how to be a musician, like just pass my voice and like get into that instrumentation like sphere of it. Like with Tyler the Creator's.
Yes. Oh my God.
Call Me If You Get Lost. Like that kind of like it's heavy, it's grandiose, like instruments and things like that with bars on top of it, and then he's also singing in some portions.
Like let's just give a shout out to him because all his. Like, I'm not going to say I'm a fan of every song that he has, but he is very different, and all of his performances are top notch. Yep. And I feel like, you know...
He came out the box. The first thing he did was eat a cockroach.
Eat a cockroach.
Loved him ever since.
And you want to talk about black people looking at folks weird? He was like, who is this?
But I definitely think we need more of that. So I think it's definitely a big thing that you can acknowledge that you're willing to step outside that box that we were just talking about earlier.
You got to.
You have to, absolutely. And I think a lot of people get stuck in a box. Like, they be like, oh, that was the hit. Let me put another one out.
Just like that, doing the same exact thing.
You know, Meg's songs, yes, they are all hits.
Mm-hmm.
We
but they
all be
like
in their bopping.
The Baby.
The Baby, here's the thing. Even when the Baby put his song out about his brother, and him passing away, and they were all in black and all this stuff, I said, this is about to be a dope song. Like, I'm gonna feel this.
Yeah.
That song had a bop to it.
I was just like, how did I feel?
We talking about the funeral.
We celebrating your life even though you're gone.
Like,
you know what I'm saying?
We ain't gonna forget about you.
So I do think that is, I think that's very dope. And I think people definitely need to check that out and check you out. Tell them where they can check you out.
Oh, y'all can check me out on Instagram, 94Dro. YouTube 94Dro.
And that's DROW.
Yeah, DROW 94DROW.
It's on his shirt, guys.
No space. You know. Oh, yes. So 94Dro literally everywhere. I don't have a Twitter right now just because like
nobody has. People do have Twitter.
Yeah, folks got Twitter. People been trying to get me back on there. Like I've been thinking about it, but y'all can find me 94Dro anywhere: Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal, Amazon Music. Literally any DSP, SoundCloud. So
94DROW.
Yes.
So check it out though, for real.
Yeah.
It is definitely worth listening to. Definitely looking forward to like new projects. So definitely check that out. Hopefully soon we will have a link for you all to go and listen to that music.
Yes.
There we go. Did you have a question, Mary?
I kind of did. So, and kind of like when we were talking about Megan Thee Stallion and her style and how, although she got hits, once again she just kind of keeps putting out the same thing over and over again. I kind of said to them earlier, you know, there's kind of, I don't want to say a stereotype, but I heard somebody say like, you can really get away with giving a music as long as it's got a nice beat. Yeah. Like the substance doesn't really matter. And there was like one social media guy that's gone viral, but he always does kind of like these parody songs, kind of like pretending to be other rappers, so like maybe like the Baby or the Migos, and he was like, all you really have to do is like maybe like this artist likes flutes or he likes this and so add some of these, and then he's like, it doesn't really matter what you say, like I'm a cheetah in the jungle and I'm whatever. and
they do say that.
He really says something like that, and then he'll be like, and then you sprinkle on some ad-libs. And like that's it, and then he pieces it together. And it sounds just dope. Like him. Yeah. It's low key. Like, damn, why am I bopping to this? And it's just like, damn, that's really horrible. But going off that, what my question was, is like, when you write a song, because I'm like, that was his process. Like, it don't take shit, just do that.
Yeah,
like, what is, I know you kind of talk about, like, your life experience and stuff, but, like, kind of like, what is your process, like, when you sit down to write? Like, do you typically, like, start with the beat and it kind of goes from there? Or maybe do you get an idea or, you know, hear it in your head and then you got to kind of make it? Or, like, what is typically, like, your creative process when you make a song?
I will say it starts with the beat. And how I learned hip-hop music is hip-hop at its core is movement. So everything has to start, if you're going to deconstruct it all the way down, it starts with the bass.
Yep.
And so everything starts with the beat, whether people like it or not, who do love lyrics. Because if I put a message on a trash beat, I mean, you can be like, oh, that's cool, I guess. Cool, I guess, but you ain't really going to listen to it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I do start with the beat, and then from there, I try to find the vibe that I want to go to. And at this point in my life, it really just comes down to what I want to say. And I tell people, rhyming is literally the easiest shit in the world. I would rather sing, to be honest. If I could do R&B, I would rather do that because it seems a little more skillful. Not to say rap isn't, but you just have to dive heavy into it before you hit the skill. You can put anything, as you said, you can put anything on a beat. But for me, it really does come down to the beat, the vibe, and then the message that I want to put out there. So it just starts as words.
You want to know something that was really cool? So I saw this thing about an interview, and they had interviewed Sean Kingston, and he was talking about Drake's creative process, and he said, I want to say it was for like I'm at War or something, like he had helped with that, and he was like, Drake literally, like, he had been sitting there talking to him, and I guess there was some girls talking, somebody's trying to get at him, and like, he said literally, like, he'll kind of go off like conversations as his inspiration. He just got up, like, I gotta go to the studio. Yeah. Like it's fresh.
Yo,
like,
there's been like literally during my last album that I wrote, it was off the off the heels of a breakup that was super important to me. While I was driving home, I was like, this is gonna be a great album. Not even gonna front, crying and everything. I'm like, it's gonna be a really great album.
Emotions.
So good. Something I would say that I feel like people don't do them anymore, but I think they used to be really good, like big on albums, like when they do like those interludes or the intros and the outros.
I love those.
Can we talk about Childish Gambino's? I don't know if y'all have ever listened to the Camp album.
Yeah.
But his outro, I forgot what
it's like a letter, like a.
I can't remember what it's called, but it's an outro. But it actually, like, it's a song, and then it goes into the outro.
Yeah.
And it basically also gives you like why he is called Childish Gambino. He's like, I went to camp, and I fell in love with this girl basically, and I waited till the end of the summer to kind of tell her how I felt, and I finally said it, and then it was just like she kind of like dismissed it, and I thought it was over, but then he's like, you went and you told it to everybody, and now I'm like, I'm a laughing stock, I'm probably never gonna see her again. And she's like, you took this one thing and you made it for everyone, and that's when I learned that what, forget that. I'm gonna I cut out the middleman. I'm gonna
just let everybody else know.
Yeah, he's like, screw it. You can't tell him because I already told you. I put it out on the table. And he was like, does this make me a childish person? Does this make me kind of just messed up for, not trusting people? And he's like, maybe, but this is the sadness I chose. And he's like, some people say, I got on the child or on this bus, a child or whatever, or something, and I never became a man. But truth is, I never got off the bus. I'm still a child. Okay. Shit like that. But like, I love that outro, and just the way he talked about it. He's like, under the street lights, I see your face. It's there and gone, and there and gone, and there and gone.
That's like,
and I see the crinkles in. That's like Kendrick's. But I love this.
That's like Kendrick's album, like in how To Pimp a Butterfly was like pieced together by a poem. Yeah. And like that kind of stuff, like really,
but like this sort of kind of like, it might not actually be a song, but it's kind of like a little poem or kind of spoken word or whatever. But it's like it's giving you a story you could relate to. Like, damn.
And it's kind of sad that, well, for me, I'm a tangible person, so for me, it's kind of sad that we got away from CDs, and different things like that. I think having CDs and not having things online put more money in people's pockets.
Yeah,
and I feel like in today's time with all.
Oh wait, hold on, say that one more time.
I feel like when people have like CDs or access to actually pay for things and not stream them live.
Yes.
It put more money because we started like lime wiring and all that stuff. But what I'm saying is, like, I remember early on to hear that music, you had to go to the store. Yeah. Go through the rack.
Or pre-order.
Find that CD. Pay for it. And I feel like that would be so lucrative in the Black community now, especially with all of the new artists, and it's so weird to me now not seeing people hustle their music. Where I'm from, people be like, "Hey, listen to the CD."
But at the same time, they don't have to. And I mean, I agree with what you're saying. But at the same time, because you have things like the ability to stream or even just TikTok, I'm like, those count as plays, those count as sales. So I'm like, in a way, I think
it does not do as much.
It don't do as much. No, it don't do as much. No.
Think about it. CDs, if they were really good, were like $21.99, right?
For me to make $1 on, I think Apple Tidal pays the most, but not a lot of people use Tidal.
Right.
So for me to make, I think it was like $1 on Apple. I think it's 10,000 streams.
Yep.
Wow.
Really?
Yes, people are not getting.
streams.
That's why I always say when people buy those CDs, you're paying
Yeah, 'cause you
$21
can still
something a pop.
Yeah, you can still buy.
Because I want to say Apple Music or iTunes or whatever. Because I'm gonna say songs used to be like 99 cents.
Yeah. They're taking that off though. They're not doing iTunes anymore.
Because it's still there, but I never use it because I have Apple Music.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but I have read somewhere that ever since CDs kind of went more obsolete, that because it used to be that CDs were the main point of sale where they had the money, but now it's tours. So if you don't have a tour, then you ain't gonna make as much money.
Yeah,
and people are losing so much money. Like I just remember the times. I feel like music was better when people was out there hustling. Like people be like, "Hey, take a listen to this CD." I got 3 songs.
The mixtape days was like heavy for
Absolutely.
artists because you can make like any kind of music, not worry about
especially
the sampling aspect. Yeah, and then you can just hop on. You can hop on stage and just perform.
Exactly.
And so you get money from those mixtapes and the performances. You're getting like 20,000, or in Lil Wayne's case, like
a lot of
$1 million a show.
mixtapes for free. Like you go to something like that Piff or whatever. Like,
but that's what I'm saying. If we were back in the times where it was CDs, where when people had to do dial up, they was not doing all that streaming as much.
No, they was
like
not.
We was on the radio listening. Remember, just think about it. Even when we had the phones and we were trying to have a ringtone, we would have to pay for that ringtone and then tell somebody be quiet so I can record and get this ringtone on my phone or whatever. All of that money, a lot of it goes to that artist.
Soulja Boy
we don't
started
have
it
that.
all.
Yeah, so you know what I'm saying?
I know we should blame him. We should blame Soulja Boy today.
Always. He started it all.
Hey, I am definitely there. Let me ask y'all this. We're going to wind down just a little bit, but where do you all think music will be in the next 10 years?
Hopefully not in the trash, but you know, we can hope.
I think it will be more of a like introspective kind of music because I think we're definitely entering a new, especially coming off the heels of this pandemic. Well, I mean, hockey's still in it, but the heels of this pandemic, people have gotten to sit and look at the shit around them. They're not really going to have a choice but to reflect in some kind of way. And so I think definitely with artists, they're going to start doing that. If not, they're going to self-destruct as an artist.
I anticipate a lot of music that's going to be like therapy sessions. Seriously, because like mental health and even just the things with like the gender construct right now
and to be
is
fair,
so big.
I think that this is more so talking about like black music. When I asked that 10 years, so I think it's very important what Mary said because we're all realizing that all black people really need therapy.
And if we're at the point where they want to talk about what they're going through, like, hey, I done thought it was.
Because in 10 years, we're going to have children, and that's one way that we definitely, as black people, as a culture, communicate is through our music.
Yeah, for a long time,
absolutely.
we communicate, like even through slavery.
Exactly.
And to be honest, even before slavery, in Africa, they communicate a lot of times through beats.
And I think people are going to be like, all right, now we tired of the ass clapping.
I mean, that's a sound too.
It definitely is a sound, but I feel like we're going to I think music just evolves and it's a full circle. And it is my hope that we do get back to kind of telling the story so people do know some of the things that is going on now. So I hopefully, another question, do you all think that black people and white people will switch spaces in music?
I feel like we always have a tendency of kind of overlapping and going back and forth. Really?
I don't.
What do you mean by that?
So, you know how we pointed out earlier, we see more people doing emo. We see more people that are listening to, what is it, Paramore? I
say like alternative, like rock sort of
So
genres.
what I'm saying is,
do we perceive more white people getting into like hip hop and R&B and maybe soul music?
No. For me, no, I don't think so.
I
think what it's gonna end up being is gonna be like more recognition and awareness for black artists in different spaces.
I think we're due like another wave of like Adeles and Duffys and Amy's and
I definitely don't see I continuously always see, like I told you earlier, there was a statement that said imitation is the best form of flattery, right? So therefore we have to talk about appropriation and all of these other things. So we see it now where more people like Tekashi, Justin Bieber, going back to Elvis Presley. how they took that and and the world attributes that music, which is why was one of the things that I said I do think there needs to be a black genre, right? But I can definitely foresee more black people stepping into alternative music.
Well, I can see not necessarily more black people stepping into alternative music, because I think there are a lot of black people. I think that more black people are going to be recognized for stepping in and have more of that popularity. Because like when you're talking about like Elvis Presley and stuff like that, that has been going on for decades, for generations. So I think that is not going to stop, but I also don't think that our domination in R&B and hip hop is going to stop either. I just think that more black people are going to get more interrupt, because I think that our generation and the generation after us are becoming a lot more accepting of the different genres and getting into different things, and a lot more supportive and getting pushed into that. So I think that there are a lot of people that are going to get nursed into the different genres.
And to piggyback, like I definitely agree with that, because I think not only just from the genre aspect, but you got to think how art imitates life right now. It's a lot of like social norms are shifting. And the generation, you see how, I mean, we started to like fuck shit up, and then like the generation that's coming in college right now are really like, they really like, honestly, we burning all this down. It really is gonna. That next generation is really
honestly,
gonna.
What I was gonna say is kind of how Atara was talking about earlier, kind of like the types of music that we listen to are kind of decided by like our parents and our upbringing. But I'm like, for people like me or like, we kind of already listen to different types of music, so obviously we're gonna, you know,
and that's what I'm saying,
introduce our kids to that, and and I feel like our generation is a little bit more open to things as well. So I'm like, I think it's a given that, you know, there's going to be more outlets and venues for them to kind of get into that.
And with that being said, I think there'll be more acceptance, because we are so diverse in and trying to become more diverse. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not listening to classical music, but you know, like I said, my brother sings opera. He travels all around doing these things. So it is only my assumption that when he has a child, the things that you are used to hearing, or the things that you do specifically, that is what your child will see or whatever. And then my last thing that I am going to ask you all, what and how do we stop musical appropriation?
There's like a definitive answer for that. I mean, you could call it out.
I think there needs to be more awareness, because I don't think people notice it until either they don't
awareness
at all,
and
or
accountability.
They there we go.
Because if we don't hold them to a standard, then you know what I'm saying, they're not going to stop, or vice versa.
I mean, you just look at the artists that, like, you know, honestly, I love Hannah Montana. So I didn't pay attention to the fact that Hannah Montana, when she came out, at first she's, you know, the mountain and all the it's the climb, and then she went to, Jay's on my feet.
And I'm sure all she did was twerking, and then she put black girls in her videos twerking, like, all that.
But, like, as soon as her name went up, then that's when she went to the Malibu and the Wrecking Ball and all, like, it just she really appropriated it. Whether she like meant to or not, it was all about money. But people I didn't
yes and no, because I would say like her first little album after she came out was called like I Can't Be Tamed or whatever, and so it was really just a rebellion from Disney.
That's what I
so most of it was just rebellion in general. But yeah, she obviously did appropriate the culture.
Well, think of that growth from Billy Ray. He didn't let his daughter
that's what I was
to do a song with the openly gay black man. Like that's some, I never would have seen that progression.
To be fair with Miley Cyrus, a lot of her stuff was rebellion with her father. And yes, I think she did appropriate, but the way that we are so accepting to things as black people, we like, they get a pass. That is why I asked, do we think more white people will step into this? Because you see more white people stepping into our into R&B.
Accountable.
Exactly. And that's why I always say, that's why I asked the question, do we think it'll swap? Because we as a people are like, oh, we need to be integrated, we need to be accepting, because that's what we always wanted.
I think what it's gonna take is, like, for instance, when we have these award shows for
stop going to BET.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, in terms of like, actors and actresses, when they have those awards or in the music awards where people aren't even being nominated and things like that, and they say, you know what, we're gonna boycott, we're not gonna. But I'm like, I think if you want it to be successful, if you want it to make a difference, we gotta all be on the same page. It can't be half-assed, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and it's kind of like that, what is it, the crabs in the bucket mentality. It's like, oh, well, it didn't work out for you, but I'm doing great, so screw you guys.
It's really weird to me that, like, the TikTokers, they all were together. They were like, nope, we ain't doing no dances. We are musical influencers. We're all
and it showed, if y'all
but none of us, not us in general, but you don't see that in the mainstream things. Right. Like if we took as a culture our music away, like if we, even for a week, that's why I say we need that box to say, yes, Black people,
we the inspiration.
Right. So if we took that away, took away our creativity, yes, we might have got a beat from somebody, but where did they get those beats from too?
Right.
So if we took all that away, no making beats, no making music, no dropping music, no doing dances, imagine what this world would look like.
Boring. Take away the songwriters, take away the producers, the people who make the beats.
It ain't gonna be no salt, pepper, seasoning, salt, garlics, none of that. It ain't gonna be no Lowry.
Yeah. We wouldn't be sitting in light right now.
Right.
This air we feeling, it wouldn't be happening.
So I just think that
studio's hot everywhere.
As Mary said, we have to be on one page to protect us and to claim what is ours, but also awareness and accountability.
Yeah. But I do think that to wrap up,
but
I do think that it is only going to come down to accountability and awareness.
Yep.
Because I don't think that we'll end up switching. I think what'll happen, like we said, it'll just be more acceptance for Black people to try different things, awareness and celebration of these Black people in different spaces, folks doing opera, folks doing classical music, whatever it is. But I feel like even for white people, after that happens or while that happens and they step into these spaces, for Black people it really does hinge on, is it good?
Yeah.
Like even to a fault sometimes. Yeah. Because there's some people who still don't want to give R. Kelly his Nasty Man award because the Chocolate Factory. So like,
hey, John, listen.
I'm just saying. So as Black people, I think it does come down to like, is it good?
Yeah.
Are you showing appreciation to it? I brought up Bruno, but I bring him up because while he's not Black, he does give a space for Black musicians and gives homage up everything. So I really think it does come down to like that appreciation, that awareness aspect of it for non-Black people stepping in spaces.
So with that being said, anybody have any closing remarks? No? Thank you all for tuning in. Make sure that you click the link that we provide for you to check out the new project coming out. Make sure that you are going to all social media sites, 94 Dro, so you can listen to his music. Action Points, that tends to be or seems to be our favorite at this table. So definitely check that out. And is there anything else I'm missing, guys? All right, guys. Well, bye. Love us.